Hi everyone, I'm Soju, and today I'll be showing you how to make this panda enclosure right here. I placed a couple of these guys inside because the area is quite small, but you can obviously make it as big as you like. But I'll just be showing you how I decorated and basically show you how to make this. Anyways, let's go on to the tutorial. So for the block palette, I'm going to be using mainly spruce, and that includes all the variants. And then I'm also going to be using dark prismarine, but I know that dark prismarine can be really hard to get in survival, so you can literally use any single block that you like in replacement of the dark prismarine. And since this is only the materials to make the fence, I'll be showing you also what I use to decorate. I use some campfires. The hanging signs are really optional since they're quite expensive. I use lanterns, barrels. I use these two stones, regular stone and then Mossy Cobblestone, to make the rocks. And for the stone, that includes a pressure plate and the button. And then to give the floor some texture, I use moss and moss carpets, Podzol and Coarse Dirt. And for some plants, I use bamboo and sugarcane. And this is the layout for the build. I'll place some numbers on the screen just to help you out, and you can pause here if you like. To start off, I'm gonna mark the center right here. You should have 12 blocks on each side like this, and I'm gonna count a space of 5 wide, so 2 here and 2 here, and I'm gonna place 2 barrels next to that like this. That was just to mark the entrance, but I'm gonna go ahead and place a barrel on each of the corners like this. And then once this is done, I'm gonna place a block right here in the middle of the sides. You should have a 5 block space on either side, so one here and one over here. And then here at the back, we're gonna count 5 along, so 1 2 3 4 5, and then a barrel, and 1 2 3 4 5 barrel like this. And then we're just gonna copy this one all the way over here, and you should have a 2 block space from the entrance right here. Hopefully that made sense, but this is the layout in total. And this part is pretty easy, so I'm gonna go ahead and place a stripped spruce log on top of all the barrels right here, like so. And I'm gonna go on top of each one of them, except for these 2 that will be the entrance. But for the rest of them, I'm just gonna place a spruce slab on top of them like this. And that should be the pillars for that part of the fence. I'll fill these parts in between using the dark prismarine like this. And we're just gonna go all the way around. And for this part, if you think hanging signs are too expensive, you can always use a regular fence gate like this. But I'll be using the hanging signs for this tutorial in between all the logs that we just placed. And then cover this up using some spruce trapdoors like this. And I'll just go around placing all those hanging signs right next to the logs like this until I'm finished. And I'll see you back when that's done. This is just a tip: if you tend to click on the signs all the time on accident, you can place honeycomb on top of them, so now you can't edit them like at all. And this is just an extra bit, but I'm gonna do that with all of these. Okay, so now for the entrance part, you should have 2 logs like this. And we're just gonna place 3 logs on top of it. So that will make 1 2 3 5 in total. And then 1 2 3 like this. And then using some spruce slabs, I'm gonna go ahead and place a top slab right next to this log, and then place another one on top of it. And we're gonna go up only using slabs. So I'm gonna place 1 here on the side and then go up like this until we reach the middle. And then I'm gonna go back down all the way across, and then place 1 more just to make an overhang. And I'm gonna place that one right here. There we go. For this middle section, it's basically gonna be the same thing, but using the prismarine slabs like this, or whatever material you use for the fence. And then finally on the other side, it's gonna be the same thing, so just spruce all the way along until we reach the other end. And then for the rest of the fence, I'm gonna place 2 fences right here on the corners, and then line that up with some fence gates in the middle. And now to decorate this place a little bit more, I'm gonna place a spruce stair right on top of this fence right here, leaving a 1 block gap, then 1 right here. Then I'm gonna place 2 trapdoors, 1 here on the very edge. Make sure that's not like over like this. So 1 right here and then 1 right here. And for this part, if you use the fence gates, you can use the fence gates instead, but I'll use the hang signs. And if you have to place it like against this block, not on top of the slab right here. Otherwise, it just doesn't create this like wooden part. And since I want that wooden part on top, I'm just gonna do that against. It's kind of tricky, but there we go. And then right here in the middle, I'm just gonna place 2 spruce logs like this, and then a final trapdoor on the bottom. And that should be it for the entire fence, and all that's left is to decorate this area. So I'm gonna start off by making the stream that we had. I'm gonna go from here on the left corner and then really messily just make a curved line all the way across. So I'm just gonna go like this. And this is what I did if you want to copy it, but it doesn't have to be really neat. You can really do it however you like. So now that we have this guide going on, I'm gonna go ahead and make this a little bit thicker. I'll just break the blocks like right next to it. Again, it doesn't have to be messy, it just can be whatever you like. I'll make most of it 2 blocks wide, but I'll make some parts 3, like here maybe. So as you can see, it's pretty messy, but this is what we want. So for this part, I'm just gonna replace these blocks right here for the dark prismarine, and then on the other side too. Actually here, if you also made your stream going into the pillar like this, you're gonna get rid of this one and just place another log like this. And now you can fill all of this in with water. I'm just gonna go ahead and do that real quick. And we're gonna be using the Podzol, the moss, and the coarse dirt to decorate the edges of the stream. So I'm gonna go quite messily. So I basically just replace whatever blocks I come across. So whichever ones I like. And then I go in with another block. Oops. Like this, all the way around the edge. And then this is my chance to make it a little bit greener. So I just go ahead and replace, I know we just placed them down, but I'm gonna replace some of them using the moss blocks like this. Okay, so hopefully yours looks something like this. And now to decorate it, I'm gonna be using bone meal because it's a lot easier. So I just place it like this, and I'll get rid of some just so it's not so crowded. Like this is too much, so I just break like every other one. And then also along the stream, I'm gonna place some sugarcane. Some of them I'm gonna make them 3 blocks tall, and then some I'm gonna keep 2. And for the 2, I'm gonna place a piece of string just so it stays like that. And then I'm also gonna place some over here. Maybe this one can be like this and like that. There we go. Now for the little rocks that we had, I'm gonna place one on the left corner over here. I'm gonna start off around the center of this area. I'm gonna go about 5 blocks tall, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like this. And since we wanted this to look a little bit natural, I'm just gonna go ahead and place random blocks around it. I'm not gonna think about it too much, just like this. Okay, so I came up with something like this. It doesn't have to be exactly like what I did, but we are gonna make sure that where you place a 1 block tall stone, I'm gonna place a slab on top of it, or either a slab or a stair, just so the pandas can't go on top. So something like this, just to make it harder for them. And I'm gonna also place some over here. These are just decoration, honestly, but I'm gonna place some around here, maybe that like this. Maybe I'm gonna make this one a little bit taller, and then like this. And then going in with the mossy cobblestone, I'm just gonna replace some of those blocks with the cobblestone. So I'll just place some dotted around all over, just to give a little bit more texture, not really to prevent them from doing anything. So over here, and then I'll also do the same thing with the stairs. I'll just replace some of them with the stairs, and then I'll leave I'll leave others with the stone. Okay, so I have something like this going on, and I'm gonna make sure they really can't get out. So I'm gonna block their way using the bamboo, just like this. I'm gonna place it quite randomly around the rock like this. And the bamboo is already growing for me. My tick speed is at 200, that's why it's growing so quickly. But once it grows to the height that you want it to be, I'm gonna place a string on top. I don't want these to be too tall. So this is like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is 6. I'm guessing that's 7 or 8. I don't want these to get too tall, so I'm just gonna place a string on top of them as they grow. And maybe, yeah, there we go. And then we have something that looks like this. I'll probably place one right here. This one can be a little bit shorter. There we go. And that should be the rock all covered. I don't think they can get over this because I can't. So, and they're a lot bigger, so they can't get through these little gaps either. But yeah, but that's how I made that rock. And I'm basically gonna do that same technique over on this side. So on the opposite corner, I'm gonna go over here and I'll grab my stone, and right around the middle of this area, I'm just gonna go around 5 blocks tall like this, and then just build around it until I have something that looks like natural enough. And then for this one, since it's quite next to the stream right here, I'm gonna place a little bit of of the stairs over here, maybe some of the slabs too, and then replace them with the stone just to make it feel like it's actually part of the environment right here. I'm gonna place some of the stairs around just to blend that in a little bit better. And again, making sure these 1 block tall ones have a slab on top just so they can get up like this, and maybe one here. And once you like the shape, I'm gonna go ahead and replace some of them with the mossy cobblestone, then some of the stairs to also replace maybe this one in the water, just because it makes sense that it's mossy since it's right next to the water. So there we go, that's my rock. And now I'm gonna do the same thing and place the bamboo around here, maybe like this. I'll actually replace that block over here with a piece of Podzol just so I can place some more bamboo. And this is already growing. I'm gonna wait for this one to grow. Oh, okay, never mind. And then I'm also gonna place a little bit more on this side. Okay, so here we go. I placed a piece of string on top of all of these so they shouldn't grow anymore. And then I just have a few more pieces of decoration. So over here, I'm gonna place a little like mud pile. So I'm gonna go around like this, and then also mix in some of the Podzol just to make it look more like mud. And then using some spruce slabs, I'm gonna go around and place along the corners like this, just so it actually looks like a little pile of mud. And then also using some trapdoors, I'm gonna go on top like this. And I place it right here because I feel like if I place it over here, the pandas will be able to jump across. And I don't know if they're smart enough, but I'm not gonna risk it. So this area is just gonna be empty for them. Then I know I just placed this, but I'm gonna get rid of that one just so we can make a little bridge going across. So I'm gonna use the campfires and I'm gonna place them right over. In this case, I just made a cross, but so I just leave the cross and then I'm gonna turn all of those off and place a trapdoor just so it's a little bit easier to go across. Then I'm also gonna do the same thing over here. A campfire right over here. Get rid of that one. Turn those off and then place a trapdoor like this. Finally, for some lighting, I'm gonna place a spruce fence on either side like this, right next to this spruce stair. And then I'm gonna place a lantern on either side like this, and I'm gonna also do that on the outside. Then I think we can actually place one here in the middle. Yeah, but that's only for the entrance, and this part is gonna be quite dark. So what I like to do is mix in a lot of the moss like this, and then using some of the moss carpet, I'm gonna place it randomly throughout. And then on those areas where I place the moss carpet, I'm gonna get rid of the block underneath. I'll use a frog light, but you can use a torch or glowstone, whatever you have on hand, and then cover that up. And now you have hidden light across this entire area. And then I'm also gonna place one over here. Again, I'm gonna place some moss across here, some of the moss carpet, and then I'm doing this quite randomly, so you have to do it as I'm doing it. But I'm gonna do this, maybe some over here, and I'll place one over here that should cover this entire area. Place some around the rock over here because that is probably quite dark. Some of the moss carpet, maybe that one can be a frog light, and this one can be a frog light. And maybe some on this corner too. So I'm gonna place some of the moss and then some of the moss carpet over here. I think I'm gonna replace this one with a frog light, and there we go. And then for some final decoration, I'm gonna be using the pressure plates and the stone button. And I'm just gonna place those randomly throughout. So I'm gonna place some over here, and then some of the buttons too. I'll place some over here too. Just so it looks like stepping stones or something. And then some over here, maybe a rock like this. Obviously, if you're gonna make the enclosure a little bit bigger, you have a lot more space to decorate. I kind of limited myself with the size. And now all that's left is to place in the pandas. If you're in survival, I wish you a lot of luck. Oh my god. But yeah, if you're in survival, I wish you a lot of luck since these can be quite a pain to transport. But there you go. That's the entire panda enclosure all done. You can see they're having quite a lot of fun over there. Actually, I just noticed, don't do what I did and place a pressure plate over here. I'm gonna place it, actually I'm just gonna like, get rid of it entirely. I didn't think of it, but maybe on this side, I think this one should be good. Yeah, this looks good. So if that bothers you, get rid of it. Otherwise, you can just leave it as it is. But yeah. Anyways, hopefully you enjoyed this tutorial. As always, if you want to download this world and see it for yourself, you can find it down in the description, and you'll get this build and all the other builds that you see over here in this super flat world. So yeah, if you're interested, it will be linked down in the description. But for now, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next video.